Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a case featuring a defendant facing indecent exposure charges after giving an impromptu show at a public park. But that's just one act in this circus. He's also been dodging his legal obligations for years, conveniently forgetting to register or check in. Let's see how the judge handles someone who seems to have an odd definition of laying low.
Justin Davis, is that you? Mr. Davis, you're charged with indecent exposure. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
The complainant was jogging at White Oak Bayou Park in Harris County, Texas, and the complainant observed the defendant naked and masturbating next to a pool located inside Stewart Park. The complainant could see the defendant's penis, which was an open view of anyone walking on the trail. The officers arrived and observed the defendant sitting near the pool without pants and underwear and continuing to masturbate.
Is he currently registered as a sex offender? Can you see that now?
I can check, Your Honor. Your Honor, we can't find the information at this time. We'd have to make a call to the officer to find that he is registered, but at this time, we don't have that information.
Prior felony failures to register, you know? So what kind of conditions would you think? Michael?
Judge, I don't know the status of the housing of the defendant, but at this time, the state would ask for staying away from public places where children would go, like parks where the defendant was, staying away from schools, parks, public places, anywhere where children may go, is what I would ask.
How old are you, Mr. Davis?
41.
You're 41. What do you do for a living? So where do you live?
I live in a tent. My dog.
You live in the where?
In a tent.
He's homeless and lives in a tent.
I know, Judge.
And the problem is that this is not our first indecent exposure. This is not our first failure to register. So I'm going to appoint your lawyer today, and I'm going to see where we're going, because I don't know what conditions we can put to protect the public from you.
And the issue, Judge, is the underlying registered case is in indecency of a child from 2004, and that's why I'm harping on you staying away from children.
Okay, so we're going to have to do a deep dive on this. So
Yes, Judge.
I'm going to have you sign a receipt of Victoria, and then I'm going to take you a seat in the jury box. Don't go anywhere, Mr. Davis, please.
So, Judge, just an update on what I found through my research. It looks like the underlying conviction that the defendant has that requires him to register as a sex offender is called an attempted indecent liberties with a child case, and it's out of Kansas. When you look at chapter 62, which are the requirements for who needs to register and how, there's a definition in subsection 10 for what's called an extra jurisdictional registrant, which just means someone that's out of state that's been convicted. And the rule states that they just have to follow the out-of-state reporting standards. When I've looked at the Kansas reporting standards, there's 3 requirements for sex offender registrations. It's 15 years, 25 years, or life. So because of this conviction, he has to at least register. The least amount is 15 years. Since it was from 2004, that means he's actively non-reporting and committing a state jail felony. by not actively reporting, which
Well, I think
Really, isn't
it would end in 2019, I think, right? If it's,
it? So what?
so then you're correct, Judge. It is a third degree.
So failure to register as a sex offender is a third degree, number
Yes,
one.
Judge.
I thought.
Yes,
at
Judge.
least.
You're correct.
Is he required to register as a sex offender?
that's the issue. So if it was from 2004 and then 15 years after that, my understanding from him is that his duty to register ended in 2019. So I don't know. Did you say it was 04?
Somewhere, right?
Right.
I mean,
Right.
if he's been here, we have here as far back as 2009, there's an assault of a family member. We have failure to register as a sex offender 2 times in 09 and then in 11. So at a minimum, if he's registered at least 1 time, he should be in the sex offender registry. All that information should be in the registry as far as what his information is about. So if I pull up the registry now, which I'm going to try to,
I looked it up, Judge. I don't see his name anywhere. I don't see it at all when I look up his name.
And I believe it may be because this 15-year period ended. If the conviction was 04, then I think so 2019 would have been the ending point for that 15 years, which is what he's told me that 2019 was the end of the reporting requirement.
you have to understand, Mr. Davis, that I'm going to do everything in my power to protect every single person of Harris County. If you're supposed to register as a sex offender and you're not, I'm not giving you a PR bond because it shows me that you are willfully not following the law. And I have the right to find your bond insufficient to revoke it and raise it up. Now, I'm not going to go crazy, but I want to protect my public. And you're out there allegedly you've got this new indecent exposure. I see that you're a registered sex offender and that you potentially you need to be, and you're committing felonies every single day that you're not registered. Now, if you can show me somehow that you're not supposed to register, then okay.
Judge, he had shown me something on his phone that had like the ending date. So I can check and see if that's something I can provide.
I got to understand, I'm not going to take your word for it. I got to see some kind of proof. We have 2 failure to register as a sex offender, so he got punished for those. When he got out and when he completed the punishment, did he never go and register again? I mean, I got to imagine that the day you complete your sentence, you got to go register.
Well, they can't force you to, Judge. It's on you as the defendant to go
So
through your registration.
from 2011, no one has gone after to see if he's just.
When we called them, they said they haven't heard from them. Morgan, when was the date?
It's they.
The certification officers that are assigned to this defendant. I believe their name's Officer Cooper, that he's supposed to follow.
Spoke to them?
I spoke to Ms. Cooper. She's with the organization that, like, I guess they come to. So he is on her list of people that's supposed to be reporting.
So he is supposed to report.
She told me that he has not checked in since May of 2019, and I asked her if he was supposed to be checking in, and she said he's registered as homeless. He's supposed to check in every 30 days. And when I called back to speak to her about charges being filed, she transferred me to the compliance office.
And then
what? Filing a new charge for failure to register. So I'm not sure about the requirements of the reporting period, but they didn't mention anything to me about him not being supposed to register, if that makes sense.
Do you have her phone?
Sorry?
Do you have her phone number now?
Yes, I have the phone number for the actual office, and then I had to ask for Ms. Cooper. So if you'd like, I can ask for her phone number directly and call her back.
I mean, because I have to imagine that if he wasn't supposed to register, if he had no duty, then she would have told you, no, he doesn't have a duty. He doesn't have to register. But you're telling me she told you that he was supposed to register and he hasn't been since 2019.
That is what she told me.
Yeah, it's unacceptable. I mean, and because he's homeless, I don't find that I can protect the public because.
But Judge, the last thing we're trying to do at this point is trying to figure out what the reporting requirement is for the specific offense, because the larger offense.
Concern is, are you supposed to report or not? And if you are and you're not reporting, I have a problem with
Yes, Judge.
it, right?
So I'm looking at that, it's through, it's offenderradar.com is kind of where he was looking it up, but I don't know. There's even, it's a state registry, it had the ending date of registration within 2019.
What is offenderradar.com?
I'm not sure, it was just what he was,
That's what I got here.
it says it's pulling from the Texas registry though. I don't know if we're able to from that link, Texas registry.
Here, do you want to send that to him? To what that says is that the registration ending date was in 2019. But regardless, though, from 2011 to 2019, he still hasn't registered at all. I don't know.
Either way, Judge, the big issue here is there's all these sexually related offenses. And now he's doing it again in a public park where there's people congregated, families, children. And
I get it.
yeah,
Would you please call back and see, was he supposed to register or not? Would you please? And then, yeah. Mr. Davis, take a seat from the jury box, please. Oh, Emila.
I think that everyone might be on their lunch break right now.
Of course. Everybody in their normal right minds is at lunch right now.
so I think the issue, I think the issue, Judge, is what you were saying is that I don't know if it tolls because it doesn't seem logical to me that you can just fail to report for years.
Right.
And then, yeah, I get you can get slapped with a felony charge, but it seems like
It's not logical where you can just evade, right, not register, and then the time lapses, and then, okay, everybody's just like.
because there's been large stints of time where this defendant has not reported. He was verified in
I don't know if that's
2019.
true though. Because if it's a 15-year, I think the issue is we don't know if we had a 15-year or a 25-year.
No, but even then, I'm looking at because every time you report, you take a mug, you take a photo.
Right.
So I'm looking at multiple large stints of time where he did not report.
But the conviction was from 04, right?
Yeah, from
I've seen where I've looked at certain people and it'll say lifetime registry, or it'll say how long they have to register. How come it doesn't say that?
I think because this is an out-of-state conviction, Judge,
Right.
it's all we have is the code. We just have to follow the code, which says you just got to check their requirements. And we looked at the requirements. We're thinking it's a 15,
25.
We're thinking 25. We're thinking it's a 25 based off of what the Kansas statute is saying. Because it's
25 from the time of conviction.
from the time of
And
conviction,
this here, the conviction was
2004.
Which if it's showing that predicted end date is 2019, it would make sense if it's 15, that 15-year period, it would have finished in 2019, I guess. Correct. Which is what he's saying, hey, they told me I'm done in 2019, 15 years after my conviction. And so that's why I haven't reported since then. And then I guess we just have to confirm it that obligation terminated.
Yeah, Josh, the only thing I do know is that I don't want him to be a transient. Because I want to know where he is at all times, just like we would do to every single other person. Come up, Mr. Davis.
Today to see what we can do about confirming housing.
You know, on the, how old are you? How old? 41. You know, on the sex offender registry, we can look at your picture and we can see what you look like from the time that you started your stint in the criminal justice system to how you look now. Holy moly. That's like one of the things you see on websites with like, if you do dope, this is what I mean, it's just incredible the way that the streets have taken over your life in the way that you are. It's really, really sad. And you know, I feel for you at one point. I really do. but at the same time, it's of your own making. And you gotta ask yourself why. Why would someone do this? Why? Eh, the only thing I do know is that I want my streets safe at all costs. And I'm going to do everything in my power to protect it. You know, and while you're transient, while you're out roaming, we can't put our hands on you. We have no idea where you're going. We have no idea what you're doing. So how am I supposed to monitor you while you're transient? I don't want you to be transient. I want you to have a home base. So I know if I need to find you, I know where you are. And that other people, specifically children, are protected. How do we do this?
He has access to a place where he can charge things. I know, so I don't know if he might be able to do a GPS marker.
How are you going to charge it? How are you going to, you need a home base.
That's on the library.
That's not a home base. But with what you're charged with, it scares me. And your history even more so scares me. I don't know what to do. I really don't. I mean, because I don't like to put people in jail, but I got to know that my streets are safe. And if I can't monitor you, then I can't have you out on bond.
Just give us an opportunity, I guess, to connect with a social worker to see.
Of course, take your time. I mean, it's already 1 o'clock. We got to kind of hurry, but you know, I'm just
be able to roll till tomorrow.
Yeah, but I'm going to keep him because I'm not letting him go while he's transient. I'm not going to do it, Mr. I mean,
I have a dog to take care of.
You
I
what?
have nobody to take care of her.
You have a what?
I have a dog.
Who's taking care of the dog now?
Right now. Nobody. I had nobody to take care of her. I'm because when I got out, I've been taking care of her for the last 7 days when I got out of jail. I have nobody.
Just got a dog in 7 days.
No, I've had her for 2 years.
I don't know what to tell you, but
And I can't leave her. They just really don't want to leave her by herself at my campsite for 1 or 2
oh,
days.
but there are other people at the campsite, right?
No, just me. That's it. Just me and her. That's it.
You're going to leave a dog tied up in a campsite?
I leave her when I go places to charge, yes. She has a habit of biting people.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm taking him now. We can roll it to tomorrow, see what you can do. But while you're transient, it's not going to happen because I can't monitor you. And that's what I want to do. So what I'm going to do is we'll find you a place for tomorrow so we can find you a home and a place to stay. And then I'm going to put a monitor on your ankle so I know where you are at all times. But until I know that you have a home base, no, you know, I don't feel that the streets are protected, especially know that you might be, you know, you have to potentially register as a sex offender. You've not been doing it for quite a while. I don't know this. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a lot of work while you're here. Number one, if you guys can reach out to the registry, see if he's still supposed to register. If so, for how long? Has it expired? And then let's regroup tomorrow. And then, I mean, I'm going to set your bond at $1,000. So I'm not, you know, but I just find it wholly insufficient with too many variables and I can't track you. As soon as you get out of here, you're off and we'll never find you. And that's not what I want. You literally spiraled and you at 41, you look like you're 71 when life shouldn't be like this. If you can really, I mean, who do you have in your life? Why?
Most of my family just don't, nothing to do with me.
Why?
I don't know.
Do you think they would?
Talk to my mom and she really incapable of taking care.
Say it again.
My mom, but she's on disability. She really can't take care and help me out. And my father, he's in the Ambi home. I mean, really, really don't have that
If
capability.
we reach out to your mom, where's your mom now?
She's in Oakley, Kansas.
In Kansas. Where's dad? In
Kansas.
same in Kansas as well. If you reached out to them, do you think that they'd talk to you?
I do talk to my mom on a daily basis. I talk to her every day, but she just don't have the money to help me out, to take care.
We're gonna work on that for you. We're gonna try to find you some stable housing. We're gonna try to find you something to help
I've
you.
been trying to look at people, and it's getting denied. Every time I try to find, even try to get housing from through Star of Hope, through other places. It's
We have resources for you to help you. Now that you're with us, we'll do everything. But I mean, believe it or not, I want to help you, Mr. Davis.
been out here too long.
Huh?
I've been way out here too long. I've been out here homeless for way too long.
Hey, you either gonna go back or you're gonna take our help and we're gonna get you out of this rut, one way or the other. But what you're doing now is not working, especially in light that you're picking up these charges. Okay? All right, so let's regroup tomorrow. He goes with you. Thanks.
What's the new bond amount?
Just 1,000. Or you know what? Just make it, what's it at now? 100? Just make it 250.
250?
Yeah.
My stuff's right there.
Pitching a tent and putting on a show in public didn't exactly work out for this guy. Turns out, indecent exposure doesn't make you invisible to the law, no matter how low you're trying to lay. What do you think? Will the court finally rein him in? Or is he gearing up for another performance? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more gripping courtroom moments. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.